Hello there, and welcome back to Forever Strong Seniors. Let me ask you something. Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night, glanced at the clock, and thought, "Oh no, not again"? You're not alone. If you're over 60 and finding it harder and harder to stay asleep through the night, this video was made just for you. Because today, we're going to talk about what's really going on with your body, why these restless wake-ups happen more often with age, and most importantly, how you can fall back asleep quickly and naturally, without tossing, turning, or stressing yourself out. Now, this is something I see happening all the time. As we grow older, sleep just changes. It's not necessarily bad, but it's different. And understanding what's going on can actually help ease the anxiety around those 2 or 3 a.m. wake-ups. See, your body's core temperature follows a cycle each night. It climbs gradually before bedtime and then begins to dip as your body winds down. That drop in temperature is what signals your brain to start producing melatonin, your sleep hormone. It's like flipping the switch that helps your body shift into sleep mode. But here's where it gets interesting. A few hours later, around 1 to 3 in the morning, your core body temperature begins to rise again. That rise signals your brain that it's time to shift into a lighter stage of sleep. And because we spend less time in deep, restorative sleep as we age, that light stage is when we're most likely to wake up. For many people in their 60s, 70s, or beyond, this means frequent and frustrating midnight awakenings. Now, before we talk about what you should be doing to fall back asleep, we've got to tackle the things you shouldn't be doing first. Because, believe it or not, it's often the little things we do instinctively that actually make it harder to drift back into sleep. The first one, and I know this might seem harmless, is looking at the clock. It's such a natural reflex. You wake up, you look over, and there it is, 2:17 a.m. You start calculating how many hours you've got left until morning. You sigh, maybe groan a little, and then boom, your mind is activated. Your heart rate ticks up, and suddenly, you're more awake than you realize. The simple act of checking the time pulls your brain into day mode, especially when it triggers thoughts like, "I've only got 3 more hours. I'm going to be exhausted tomorrow." That's anxiety, and anxiety is the enemy of sleep. What's worse is that rising anxiety also causes a subtle but significant change in your heart rate. And here's a key piece of information that you'll want to remember. To enter a true state of sleep again, your heart rate needs to drop to around 60 beats per minute, or lower. Anything higher, and your body thinks it still needs to be alert. So by checking the time and getting worked up over it, you're doing the opposite of what your body needs in that moment. The second thing to stop doing? Reaching for your phone. I know, it's right there on your nightstand. One little swipe to check the time or glance at your messages can't hurt, right? Actually, it can. That screen light, even on night mode, activates the part of your brain responsible for alertness. And it doesn't take much. Just one quick glance, and suddenly your brain starts thinking it's morning. Plus, once you're looking at messages or news or any notifications, your mind starts racing, and your heart rate climbs again. It's a simple habit, but a very disruptive one. And that brings us to the third mistake, getting up just to wander to the bathroom, even when you're not sure if you need to go. Now, let me be clear. If you really have to use the restroom, please don't hold it in. But many people, especially older adults, wake up and think, "Well, maybe I should go, just in case." That decision alone causes a chain reaction. From lying down, you sit up, then stand, then walk across a cold floor, turn on lights, maybe even check your reflection in the mirror. Before you know it, your heart rate has spiked and your body is fully alert. All that effort for what might have just been a false alarm. If you're not absolutely sure you need to go, try waiting a few minutes in bed instead. See if the sensation passes. Sometimes, the urge is more of a habit than a true need. And that habit might be costing you precious minutes, or even hours, of sleep. Alright, the fourth and final habit to steer clear of is turning on bright lights. Whether it's flipping on the bathroom switch or grabbing something from the kitchen, that sudden burst of artificial light signals to your brain that it's morning. It throws off your circadian rhythm, your internal body clock, and once that gets disrupted, falling back asleep becomes a whole lot tougher. Light is one of the most powerful cues for wakefulness. That's why I always recommend keeping a soft night light in places you might need to walk through at night. Keep it dim and keep it consistent. You'd be surprised how big a difference that one change can make. So just to recap before we move forward, no clocks, no phones, no unnecessary bathroom trips, and no bright lights. Simple, right? But powerful. Because when you remove those sleep blockers, you give your body and brain the space they need to return to rest naturally. In the next part of this series, we'll dive straight into the 3 most effective techniques you can use to fall back asleep fast. Techniques I personally recommend to my clients, and that are backed by real science. So don't miss that. Welcome back, friends. In the last part, we talked about the 4 common habits that quietly sabotage your chances of falling back asleep. Sometimes, just removing those barriers is enough to let your body drift naturally back into rest. But if you're still lying there in the quiet darkness, wide awake and wondering what else you can do, this part is for you. Because now, I want to walk you through 3 simple, gentle techniques that have helped thousands of people ease themselves back into sleep, even after years of struggling. Let's begin with my absolute favorite, something I teach to nearly everyone who comes to me with sleep troubles. It's called the 4-7-8 breathing technique, and it works like magic for many. The idea is simple. You breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold that breath gently for 7 seconds, and then exhale slowly and fully through your mouth for 8 seconds. And then you repeat. There's nothing forced or rushed about this. It's soft, it's steady, and it encourages your body to calm down. What makes this breathing pattern so powerful is that it actually uses your lungs in their full capacity. Most of the time, especially when we're anxious or restless, we take shallow breaths that only fill the upper part of the lungs. But with 4-7-8 breathing, you're engaging the whole system, slowing your breath, calming your mind, and most importantly, lowering your heart rate. Remember what we said earlier. Your heart rate needs to be at or below 60 beats per minute to ease into a state of unconsciousness. And while not everyone will hit exactly 60, especially if you have certain medical conditions, that's okay. Even if you lower your heart rate by just 10 or 15 beats, it can make a huge difference. That small drop helps send a clear signal to your brain. It's safe now. You can relax. Now, sometimes breathing alone isn't quite enough. That's when I turn to a second tool in the sleep toolbox. A gentle mental exercise that keeps your thoughts from spiraling. I call it counting down by 3s. Sounds odd at first, but stay with me. You start at 300, and you simply count backwards. 297, 294, 291, and so on. There's no rush. No need to get it perfect. Just let your mind follow the numbers, one by one. What this does is give your brain a job. And when your brain has a quiet, repetitive task to focus on, it stops spinning through worries, memories, or to-do lists. Before long, you'll find your thoughts start to blur, your breathing slows even more, and sleep begins to gently return. Sometimes I even pair these 2 techniques together. I'll do 10 cycles of 4-7-8 breathing, and then, once I feel my body soften, I shift into the counting. It's a peaceful transition, and it helps bridge that gap between restlessness and real sleep. Now, the third method I want to share is a bit different. It's called progressive muscle relaxation, and it's especially helpful for those of us who hold tension in our bodies without even realizing it. As we get older, our muscles can carry stress from the day. Tight shoulders, stiff legs, clenched hands. All of that can make it harder to relax into sleep, even when our minds are ready. Here's how it works. While lying comfortably on your back, you start at your feet. Tense your toes gently, just enough to feel the muscle engagement, and hold that tension for a few seconds. Then release it fully. Feel the difference between tight and relaxed. Next, move up to your calves. Tense, hold, release. Then your thighs, your abdomen, your hands, your shoulders, all the way up to your face and scalp. With each step, you're helping your body let go, physically and mentally. You begin to notice where you were holding tension, and with each breath, that tension melts away. It's like giving your body permission to rest. You don't have to get it perfect. You don't have to finish every muscle group. Even just focusing on a few areas, your legs, your hands, your shoulders, can make a real difference. What matters is that you're bringing attention to the body, guiding it into stillness, and creating the conditions where sleep can naturally return. You see, none of these techniques are about forcing yourself to sleep. In fact, trying too hard to sleep often has the opposite effect. These are about inviting rest, gently coaxing your body and mind back into a state of comfort and safety. It's a conversation with your own nervous system, whispering, "It's okay. You're home. You can rest now." So the next time you find yourself staring at the ceiling in the middle of the night, remember, you're not helpless. You have tools. You have options. And sometimes, just knowing that is enough to change everything. In our next part, we'll explore something that's not technically sleep, but still incredibly powerful for restoring your energy and calming your mind. It's a concept that's gaining a lot of attention in sleep science lately, especially for older adults who may not always get a full 7 to 8 hours a night. You won't want to miss it. But before we wrap up this section, I'd love to know, have you ever tried any of these techniques before? For 7-8 breathing, counting backwards, progressive muscle relaxation? Which one worked best for you? Or is there something else that's helped you in the past? Share your story in the comments. I always enjoy reading your experiences, and they might help someone else too. Welcome back, dear friends. If you've followed along with us so far, you've already learned how to avoid those sneaky sleep-sabotaging habits, and you now have a few gentle techniques to help guide yourself back into rest. But what if even after all of that, you're still lying there, eyes wide open, wondering if sleep is ever going to come back? Here's something important I want you to know. You don't have to fall asleep to be restoring your body. That may sound surprising at first, but there's a concept that sleep researchers and doctors like myself have been focusing on more and more lately. And it's something I believe every senior should know about. It's called non-sleep deep rest, or NSDR for short. What is NSDR? Well, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a state of deep, restorative relaxation, even though you're not technically asleep. You're lying down, your eyes are closed, the lights are low or off, and your breathing is steady. Your mind may still be gently drifting, but your body is in a calm, healing mode. And here's the amazing part. Even if you don't fall back asleep, spending time in this state still gives your body and brain a meaningful boost. In fact, studies suggest that 1 hour of an SDR can give you about 20 minutes worth of real restorative sleep. That may not sound like much, but if you spend an hour in this restful state during the night, that's 20 minutes of energy your body is reclaiming. And for someone who's struggled with broken sleep or insomnia, that's a win worth celebrating. Now, how do you enter a state of an SDR? You actually already know how. The techniques we talked about in part 2. Breathing deeply, relaxing your muscles, distracting the mind with gentle counting. Those are all bridges into this space of deep rest. The goal isn't to knock yourself out cold. The goal is to let your body feel safe enough to relax, to slow your heart rate, and to reduce the mental noise. It might feel strange at first. You might think, but I'm not sleeping. And that's okay. What matters is how your body responds. Are you calmer? Are your muscles relaxed? Is your breathing slower? If yes, then you are still doing something very good for your health. And here's another benefit that often gets overlooked. NSDR reduces inflammation and stress hormones, especially cortisol. That means even if you're not asleep, your body is repairing itself, recharging itself, and calming the systems that often get overworked with age, like the heart, the joints, and even your digestive system. So the next time you wake up and find yourself staring into the darkness, I want you to try something different. Instead of saying, "Why can't I fall back asleep?" say this, "This quiet time is still helping me." Let that become your new nighttime mantra, because the truth is, fighting with your own body never works. But when you give yourself permission to rest, without pressure, you often find that sleep sneaks back in more easily than you expected. Let me also add this. Some nights will be better than others, and that's okay. Sleep isn't meant to be perfect every night. What matters is your relationship with rest. If you approach it with patience and kindness, your body will respond in kind. And if you've been waking up feeling tired day after day, even when you think you've slept through the night, this might be a sign that something deeper is going on. One of the most common and most overlooked causes of poor sleep in seniors is sleep apnea. It's a condition that interrupts your breathing at night and keeps your body from getting the deep rest it needs. A lot of people assume you have to go to a fancy sleep lab to get diagnosed, but that's not true anymore. These days, there are high-quality at-home sleep tests that you can do right from your own bed. They're simple, affordable, and can give you life-changing insights. So, if you've been struggling with poor sleep for a while, it's worth checking out. Even just ruling it out can give you peace of mind. So, to recap this part, even if you can't fall asleep again right away, don't panic. Use that time to settle into a state of NSDR. Let your body rest. Let your heart rate drop. Let your thoughts drift softly. This is your time to heal, even if your eyes never fully close again that night. Let's take a gentle moment to reflect on what we've covered. We started by understanding why so many older adults tend to wake up more frequently at night. It's not a personal failing. It's not your fault. It's simply part of how the body changes with age. Shifting temperature patterns, lighter sleep cycles, and sometimes a little more restlessness in the early morning hours. Then we talked about the 4 common mistakes that often make it harder to fall back asleep. Checking the clock, grabbing your phone, taking unnecessary bathroom trips, and turning on bright lights. These small things, while easy to overlook, can create just enough stimulation to keep your brain too alert when it should be winding down. From there, we moved into 3 powerful techniques designed to gently guide you back into rest. The 4-7-8 breathing method to slow your heart rate, counting backwards from 300 by threes to quiet a racing mind, and progressive muscle relaxation to release physical tension and reconnect with your body's natural calm. Each of these practices is simple, effective, and most importantly, safe for just about anyone, regardless of age or experience. And finally, we explored the idea of non-sleep deep rest, a concept that offers comfort on those nights when sleep just doesn't come easily. You learned that lying in bed with your eyes closed, breathing calmly, and keeping your heart rate low still offers real restorative value. Just because your mind is awake doesn't mean your body isn't healing. Now, I want to leave you with a few final thoughts, because sleep, especially as we age, isn't just a biological function. It's deeply emotional. It connects to our stress, our memories, our physical aches, and even our sense of peace. If you find yourself struggling with sleep, try not to beat yourself up. Try not to let frustration creep in and take over your night. You're not broken. You're just human. Some nights may still be tough, and that's okay. What matters most is that you now have tools, gentle, trustworthy tools you can return to again and again. And even more than that, you now have a new relationship with sleep, one rooted in compassion instead of pressure. If you ever find yourself awake at 2 o'clock in the morning, I want you to remember this. You're not alone. All around the world, others just like you are also lying awake in the stillness of the night. And together, we're learning that rest is more than just sleep. It's the gift of letting your body and mind feel safe, supported, and still. And please, if you take anything from this video, let it be this. Your sleep is worth protecting. Whether it's 5 hours or 8, broken or smooth, filled with dreams or simply stillness, every moment of rest counts. So be patient with yourself and trust that, little by little, your body is listening. Now, before we close, I'd love to hear your voice in the comments. Which technique are you planning to try tonight? Have you had any success with these strategies in the past? Or is there a nighttime tip that's helped you that we didn't cover here? Your story might be just the thing another viewer needs to hear. And if this video brought you any comfort at all, I invite you to explore the rest of our library here on Forever Strong Seniors. We have more gentle guides, heartfelt conversations, and wellness tips waiting for you, because you deserve to feel rested, strong, and supported in every stage of life. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. May your nights be peaceful, your mind at ease, and your mornings a little brighter. Take good care, and until next time, sleep well.